Good afternoon and welcome to the COVID-19 update on Channels Television. I'm Millicent Walker. First, some of the highlights. Today, World Health Organization resumes clinical trial of hydroxychloroquine. And we'll be bringing in our health correspondent, Yomiyo Taigbe, on our Channels Television COVID-19 case monitoring portal, which has been launched. And Mexico reports more than 1,000 daily deaths for the first time. Now, there seems to be another opportunity for the World Health Organization, WHO, to clear the doubt over the use of hydroxychloroquine in the treatment of COVID-19 as the World Health Body resumes the continuation of all arms of solidarity trials. Last month, the Health Body's executive group decided to implement a temporary pause of the hydroxychloroquine arm of the trial because of concerns raised about the safety of the drug. The decision was taken as a precaution while the safety data were reviewed. Following the review on the basis of available mortality data, members of the committee recommended that there are no reasons to modify the trial protocol. The executive group received this recommendation and endorsed the continuation of all arms of the solidarity trial, including hydroxychloroquine. So far, more than 3,500 patients have been recruited in 35 countries. And following the accelerated development of effective therapeutics, vaccines, diagnostics as part around the world, what next with science, solutions and solidarity as countries try to find a solution? Well, joining us in the studio here in Lagos is a public health pharmacist. She is Margaret Ovide. We'd like to thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
First, did you have any concerns as to the use of hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID-19 in the first place?
Not really, because hydroxychloroquine has been used to treat malaria and autoimmune disease. So it's a familiar product, and putting it to treat COVID-19 was a welcome development.
But looking at some of the reasons why they suspended it in the first place, did you share in some of the risks they mentioned in the data, especially Lancet, that came out with a report on the likelihood of, the treatment causing a number of deaths, especially people with underlying illnesses?
Yes. It's good WHO has gone back after the suspension, resumed the trials. Because you see, the research by Lancet was majorly carried out on Caucasians, and race or gene can affect researches. So that could not have given us a conclusive outcome. So it's good that WHO goes on to expand these trials, knowing that in clinical trials you have preclinical, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and the final one that is post-marketing surveillance. Here, hydroxychloroquine is being tried on COVID for us to find its efficacy. Okay, it was during this trial for efficacy that toxicity and safety concerns came up. But now that WHO has resumed trials, it will be better for us to get results, and we can make a better decision on it.
So what should happen now? Because even after that decision, Nigeria still went ahead to participate in the solidarity trials. The Lagos State government said they were also looking into the clinical trial of hydroxychloroquine. So now that this decision has come, what are the processes that it would take before we get to something close to a vaccine?
Okay, so like I said, right now the hydroxychloroquine trial is in phase 2, trying efficacy. After that, phase 2 will be for safety, and phase 3. Yes, phase 3 trials usually will be on a larger number of persons than phase 2. With that, you can see whether the drug is actually safe for what it has been positioned for, before you allow it to go into the market. So we don't have too much time. I'm sure in a few months we'll be done with this, and we could come out with an outcome to say this drug can be safely used or not. And also remember that even if a drug has been registered and put out in the market, there is what we call post-marketing surveillance, because then it's put out to be used on millions of people. There you could also pick out other things. Everybody does not react to a drug the same way.
How much do you think we're putting into maybe some sorts of solutions to COVID-19 in Nigeria as a country?
A lot, yes, a lot. A lot of persons are into research. I know about 3 products have been submitted to NAFDAC. Okay, indigenous products that could be used for treatment of COVID. Of course, vaccine is nowhere nearby for now, so let's talk about treatment. But I know local solutions, a lot is being done. And very soon, we'll be able to come out with something, because NAFDAC is also supervising the trial of some of these local products.
Were you optimistic about the Madagascar option, the COVID organics?
Yes, it's an organic, it's a herbal product, and I think similar to most of what we have in Nigeria. Let's put it to trial, like the PTF has said, and let's see its outcome. It could be better than what we have, it may not be better, but then if it is a solution, we should embrace and use it on our people.
Finally, we heard about so many challenges that they talked about, the PTF, with coming out with some of the homegrown solutions, and some of them were funding challenges, protecting the rights of people who come out with this indigenous product. Do you think that going forward, this is a challenge that perhaps some of the people who have these ideas would face? And, you know, looking at the Pharmaceutical Society too, with its efforts towards containing this virus?
Well, we are all working together to find a solution. So I think for now, those who have come out with products should be rest assured that they will be recognized for their patency, for what they have come up with. Once we get a solution to this, they will certainly be recognized. I don't see it as a challenge. I want to encourage all of us here, for pharmacists, they all know we are all to work together to see how we can get Nigeria out of this.
We appreciate your time. Public health pharmacist Margaret Ovide, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nigeria now has 11,166 confirmed cases of COVID-19 after recording 348 new infections in 18 states and the Federal Capital Territory yesterday. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, also puts the number of patients discharged at 3,329 and 315 deaths. Of the 348 new cases, Lagos has 163, the FCT 76, Ebonyi 23, Rivers 21, Delta, Nasarawa and Niger states 8 cases each, Enugu 6, 5 cases each in Bauchi, Edo, Ekiti, Ondo and Gombe, 4 in Benue, 2 in Ogun, 1 each in Osun, Plateau, Kogi and Anambra states. Lagos in the southwest still has the highest number of cases in Nigeria and the southwest region at 5,440, followed by Kano in the northwest, cases unchanged at 970. The FCT in the north central region maintains the third highest tally, now 763 cases. Borno in the north central, northeast that is, has 296 cases. Edo leads in the south-south with 341, while Ebonyi is leading in the southeast with 63 cases. 2 personnel of the Nigerian Air Force, Makodi, have tested positive for COVID-19 in Benue State, a development that has led to the tracing of their contacts within and outside the base located along the Makodi-Boko Road. Governor Samuel Otom disclosed this while briefing journalists on the new cases, while also releasing new guidelines that relaxes the earlier directive. The new measures include the lifting of ban on worship places, which must not congregate more than an hour for any reason, strict observance to all safety measures, among others.
One of the cases came from Kano. after testing positive, ran back to camp. But we're still doing contact tracing with the committee is handling that. The other 2 cases, one is from the Air Force Base, and that too, it has been made known. So those who made contact with them, we are doing contact tracing. He infected his colleague in the Air Force, so 2 of them. So the Action Committee is still working with them, especially within the base, to see those who made contact with them. So we're on top of it.
Let's take you to Imo State. Our correspondent Itokwekute visits the popular Ekuku market and brings us these pictures of low compliance to the precautionary measures.
This is the popular Ekuku market along Douglas Road in Owerri, and obviously there is total disregard to the basic precautionary measures like physical or social distancing, use of hand sanitizers and face masks, and there is no definite point to wash hands with soap. Some of the traders we spoke to share their opinion on this.
I've not seen people die in this country now. I've not seen them before. Why will I use it? As of then, we used to wear it, but since I'm seeing people and they're saying there's no more coronavirus, so I stopped wearing it.
That is true, but I don't have that one now. Can you provide it for me? Can government provide it for us? We need it. It's very important for people, for masses, even for me. But I don't have money to provide it for myself.
We'll continue to bring you up to speed with events and happenings around here as it concerns the COVID-19 pandemic. From Owerri, the Imo State capital, Itokwekute for COVID-19 updates.
Thank you, Tokwe. More with some of the states across Nigeria, and we begin in Cross River, where youth under the ages of ethic young professionals are advocating for more sensitization on preventive measures against contracting COVID-19. Speaking at the Palace of the Obong of Calabar in Calabar South local government area of the state, the group led by the Director General of Cross River State Electrification Agency, Mr. Sani Nsemo, says localizing solutions by internally educating the public until a lasting solution is found is paramount. Over in Delta State, the Ministry of Health has expressed displeasure over the forceful removal of a 53-year-old health official from one of the isolation centers in Asaba by some members of his family. The health official, identified as Nwachukwu Michael Modi, had tested positive to COVID-19 the 23rd of May, was admitted into one of the designated treatment centers on the 24th of May. Now, the Asaba State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Onoye Modi, warns that the abductors now constitute grave danger to their own health and that of persons they have come in contact with, saying that efforts are on to find the patient and ensure he's back at the center to continue his treatment. And Ebonyi State Governor today, Mr. Dave Umahi, shut down government offices in the state as COVID-19 cases rises to 75. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mr. Uchenna Orji, explains that the governor has directed all government offices be shut effective Thursday, today, to Wednesday, 10th of June. The government also disclosed that all government officials will undergo COVID-19 tests within the 1 week starting from today. Still to come on our COVID-19 program, a COVID-19 survivor joins us. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the COVID-19 update on Channels Television. Now, I would like to, as you can see, the Channels TV COVID-19 case monitoring dashboard. We can see all the numbers coming up. It's a portal that gives you daily updates on the coronavirus cases in Nigeria. It shows activities in each state and a breakdown of the cases by local government areas. Our health correspondent, Yomi Otagbe, is here with me. Yomi, imputing this, imputing this figure figures daily must be something, especially knowing that you live in one of the local government areas, and that's talking about Lagos, for example. I mean, how does that feel?
For me, it's more of information. So it's not something for me to be afraid of. You know, when you have information, you're enlightened and you're able to know what to do and, you know, the kind of decisions you have to make. So when I see the figures, okay, I said, we could do better as a people, you know, taking all of the safety precautions and ensuring that, you know, we follow all of the guidelines that the government has given.
So is the dashboard similar to that of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control? We can see the confirmed total cases in Nigeria, the active cases, and the number of people that have recovered.
Yeah, so it mirrors the NCDC side. So, but, you know, as I mentioned yesterday, we're talking about also having local government breakdown, you know, the breakdown of the figures. So if you come here, COVID-19 case monitoring dashboard, you're going to see some of those figures. So we have the confirmed, we have the active cases in Lagos. We also have Kano, FCT, Katsina, and a host of other states.
It's also interesting to note that over time, the last 1 month, we've seen the same number. Talking about the states, Lagos leading, followed by Kano, FCT, and Katsina. And then, you know, Edo at number 5, the top 5 states with the highest numbers.
Between these 5, if you talk about the top 5, Lagos, Kano, and FCT seem to have, you know, a permanent place, you know, if I may put it that way. Between Katsina, Edo, Oyo, you know, it's interchanges somehow. So depending on what numbers will come. But when Kano started, you know, that spike, all of a sudden we see a bit of, you know, reduction. Like yesterday, there was no case.
And many people wondered, because
some people are asking, so what's going on?
Right.
What is that thing that's making the cases in Kano, you know, not to be as exponential as they were at the start?
It's so interesting that last night the NCDC said Ebonyi had 63 cases, and then this morning we have the government
when I was putting in the
75.
figures, I saw Ebonyi and I'm like, okay, so what happened? So I think it also speaks to the fact that we as a people, wherever we are around the country, we need to take charge. We need to take these precautionary measures seriously, because yes, some people are saying COVID is not real, but that is a total lie, because it's happening all around the world. It is real, and you never know where you can pick it up from.
So it's data, it's figures, and then getting these figures is also very important because they need to be accurate.
So for the local government, it is not a daily update of it. So we can have it once in a month, depending on how the state governments are able to give us, you know, some of these figures, because it has to come from them. They know, you know, all of the local government areas and the figures that they get from the national. So we would appeal again that we get some of these figures, you know, from the state government.
All right. Well, looking at some of this, let's go back. I was just going to, you know, talk us through perhaps the local government areas that we're seeing lesser cases, knowing that Lagos, of course, has over 5,000 confirmed cases. But we're looking at Ojo, Badagry, Ekpe. A lot of people are saying maybe we need to do more tests to get
in those areas. Of course, everybody's talking about more testing, because that is what will give us the accurate figures of, you know, the COVID-19 cases that we have. So if we have Ojo, Badagry still below, we are happy to have it that way, but we need, of course, more testing. And in the areas like in the mainland, you know, top on this list, if you can just go back there, in the mainland, you see that the figure is so wide apart from, you know, the ones that are down below. So what are the factors driving it? And those are some of the questions that the government will need to look at and, you know, provide answers.
All right. We'd like to thank you so much, Amir Tagwe, health correspondent. Thank you for taking time to take us through the Channels Television Case Monitoring Dashboard, bringing you updates. Local governments, that's the difference. You're going to have a bit more of the figures coming in there. Well, let's take you to what's happening around the world as the virus continues to ravage Latin America, Brazil, Mexico. They've reported daily coronavirus death tolls, sadly. The World Health Organization said this week that Latin America has become the red zone of COVID-19 transmissions in the world, and that solidarity and support are needed for these countries to overcome the pandemic.
The coronavirus death tolls in Brazil and Mexico have soared to new daily records, with 1,349 and 1,092 confirmed fatalities even as the countries begin to ease lockdown restrictions. Brazil now has more than 32,000 deaths, while Mexico has over 11,000. Over in the Middle East, Iran has reported a second day of more than 3,000 virus cases, sparking fears of a second wave of mass infections. Despite this, Iran is continuing to ease restrictions for many in the country. Israel's parliament has suspended most of its activities for the day after a lawmaker tested positive for the coronavirus. Workers have been asked not to come to work unless it's essential, while committee meetings have been postponed. Austria has unilaterally opened its borders, with the foreign minister describing it as a return to pre-corona times. But the frontier remains closed with Italy, which fully reopened all its borders on Wednesday. And finally, according to a study published by the New England Journal of Medicine, the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine, which US President Donald Trump took to try to prevent COVID-19, proved ineffective for that purpose in the first large, high-quality study to test it in people in close contact with someone with the disease.
And from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, every new case is motivation to keep pushing. Each recovery is proof that we can get through this together. Take responsibility is also the message in protecting your health. The website has all the information, statistics on the cases across states with regular updates on the COVID-19 regulations and guidelines. Now, from the World Health Organization, you find the coronavirus disease situation dashboard. It's also an interactive map providing you with the latest global numbers by country of COVID-19 cases on a daily basis. The website also has rolling updates on the pandemic with strategies and plans. Each moment it keeps updating. Our website, channelstv.com, has the latest news. All you need to do is log on, access news and health, politics, sports, Africa, and around the world. That is channelstv.com, www.channelstv.com. That's the COVID-19 update. Thank you for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Bye for now. See you again at 6 p.m.